not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised.
It's time to energize a revolution in medicine. Welcome to Third Opinion. We intend to hunt down the cures, provide the evidence, and ask the critical questions that you want answered. The revolution is now. I'm Dr. Richard DeAndreas, a medical doctor trained in surgery and conventional medicine, and a natural doctor with extensive experience in progressive treatments focused on finding the cure. You want answers, and we aim to deliver. Before we start, I'd like to send a blessing to the passing of a celebrity that we all know and loved, Michael Jackson. Another legal drug overdose, and the situation is swept away and attributed to the cost of fame, with really good ratings, of course. Yet not a single eyebrow is raised to the fact that most doctors in the United States have a license to kill, drug side effect after drug side effect. I was under the impression that this was supposed to be a drug-free America, but it seems more like drugs are free. I suppose it all boils down to what you actually consider a drug. 80% of those living in the industrialized nations today have been prescribed a prescription drug. It is almost as though we've been dealt into the drug market. Over 100 million prescriptions have been written for antidepressants alone in America. As the drama unfolds, in the Journal of the American Medical Association, on July 26th, on the year 2000 to be exact, it was reported by the Johns Hopkins School of Public Health that the third leading cause of death in the United States of America was iatrogenic disease. This is better known to the rest of us as disease as a result of the treatments. There are over 180,000 deaths per year due to drug side effects. Vioxx was responsible for about 14,000 heart attacks before it was pulled from the market. Why do we believe in this market of suffering? It should be of little surprise considering that you were injected with an allotment of immunizations the minute after you were born. Welcome to the human race with a series of painful injections that have little proof of their benefit, and then from ages 0 to 6 you were crop dusted with antibiotics, which literally translated mean no life. In your teens, you dodge Ritalin. As a young adult, antidepressants are the prize. A midlife crisis hits and your gut feelings beg for that purple pill from another ulcer. After unending pain, depression, and acid indigestion, you lose your zest for fun and you just can't seem to get it up. And then Viagra waits just around the corner. But the moment you get it up, it turns out you need something to calm you down. So you decide to tap into your emergency supply of sleeping pills. Finally, I get to sleep, hoping tomorrow will bring the American dream. In order to achieve the American dream, you have to fall asleep. Like a zombie, you must blindly accept the 70 hours a week, giving life to a low-wage job with hopes to be rewarded, with maybe a home, a car that works, good clean food on the table, a future for my children that is worth this daily grind. Why wouldn't you fall into the drug market? We are a nation of pill poppers. For us, drugs are a way of life. They have become the necessary evil in the American dream game. This is ironic considering my grandfather, who is 90 years old, actually only took one aspirin his entire life. When I ask people about this, they usually say to me, well, he was from a different stock of human beings. He kind of knew something about simply living. It's kind of like we have to live simple, understand what's good for us, decide whether or not we really want to deal with the side effects. Nowadays, we're worth more ill. And the side effects of the pills always lead to an addiction, and that turns into repeat business. It seems, in the game of life, we have justified drug addiction as a sacrifice in the struggle. Addiction. What is it? Why does it happen? Is there a cure? It turns out there is a substance on this planet that will cure a heroin or cocaine or alcohol addiction in 72 hours without withdrawal symptoms, and it claims to have a 95% success rate. But in order to get this substance, you may have to literally go on a trip. It's a psychedelic hallucinogen. With all the drugs available and the prescriptions given out like candy, how are we supposed to avoid becoming a top story? Our top story today. Like Elvis, Michael Jackson died of serotonergic medications. Dr. Ann Blake Tracy, Executive Director of the International Coalition for Drug Awareness. She writes, as suspected, and now confirmed, Michael Jackson died at age 50 due to serotonin syndrome as a result of Zoloft and Demerol. antidepressants, and a painkiller. Lisa Marie Presley has not only lost her father, but now also her ex-husband, to the same combination of drugs, antidepressants, and painkillers. Michael Jackson lost his life to the organ-stopping effect of antidepressants and other painkillers. Reports confirm that Michael Jackson was taking a cocktail of up to 7 prescription drugs in the months before his death. When serotonin levels get too high, major organs constrict, and death occurs due to via multiple organ failure. Deepak Chopra, speaking with Keith Olbermann on MSNBC, described his friend Michael Jackson as deeply resistant to discussion about addiction matters and about the doctors that enabled the addiction. Chopra called the doctors legalized pushers, and that his longtime friend Michael Jackson had been victimized. The king of pop made the same exit as the king of rock and roll. Elvis died on August 16, 1977, in the bathroom of his Graceland mansion in Memphis, Tennessee. He was 42. The official coroner's report lists cardiac arrhythmia as the cause, later admitted to be a cover-up. The report initially tried to attribute the arrhythmia to cardiovascular disease, but Elvis's personal physician stated that Presley had no such chronic problems at the time. The real cause of death was a cocktail of 10 drugs taken in dangerous doses. Those drugs included painkillers, morphine and Demerol, antihistamines, tranquilizers, Valium, codeine, sleeping pills, Quaaludes, barbiturates, diazepam, Amitol, Nembutal, Sinutab, Elavil, Aventol, and Valmid. All of these things were found in his system. Most of Elvis's problems were traced to rampant drug abuse or use. Elvis had a love for downers, sleeping pills, and painkillers. This combination induced a sleepy, calm, euphoric state. He resorted to a subconscious dream state in order to avoid his feelings. He took to carrying around a copy of a physician's desk reference, an encyclopedia of legal drugs and their uses, so that he knew just what to ask for and, when necessary, which symptoms to fake. It is safe to say that the treatments were his end. I don't know about you, but it's all too obvious that we are a nation that is addicted on many levels and that we are in need of something that will address the root of our suffering. Instead, we are enabled by a society and a medical system that believes addiction is part of the answer. We resort to using medications to disconnect from ourselves. We hurt so much, we want to escape from our own feelings. Imagine that your feelings, your thoughts that come as feelings, your taste, your smell, your sense of sight, the feelings on your skin, your hearing, all of these feelings together are the feelings that have created the information in your mind that allows you to create your reality. There is really no other way that you've gained information. Perhaps feelings are the key to healing. After all, when you don't pay attention to your feelings, you usually wind up paying with pain. We need something that speaks to the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects of our lives. We need to be heard. Most importantly, we need to be the ones doing the listening. We need to bring ourself into focus. We need to find something beyond a good way to escape. What we need is we need to know. The cause of Elvis the King's addiction, as with Michael, was attributed to the demands of being a celebrity. The hectic schedule. Elvis himself was doing a concert every 3 days for 10 years. He was under the schedule of having to produce 3 albums a year, not to mention the tension that comes with being the king. Imagine how this piles up and how we all seem to have a very similar end. Stay tuned, and you will hear from a world-renowned researcher and professor of neuropharmacology of an addiction treatment that will work in 3 days without withdrawal symptoms that comes from the heart of Africa and has been resisted by the pharmaceutical industry for over 50 years. We'll be right back with some real solutions.